It was the darkest day in history. Jesus, the one who healed the sick, raised the dead, and taught of God's love, hung on a cross, abandoned and suffering. The crowd stood watching, some mocking, others grieving, and many simply curious. But soon, something extraordinary began to happen. As the midday sun blazed high in the sky over Golgotha, a profound darkness suddenly descended upon the land. The vibrant colors of the earth dimmed, and an unnatural shadow spread across Jerusalem. For 3 hours, from noon until 3, the heavens seemed to cry out in anguish as Jesus, the Son of God, hung on the cross. The timing of the darkness, covering the brightest part of the day, symbolized the immense spiritual and cosmic weight of Jesus' crucifixion. This miraculous event underscored the significance of his sacrifice for the sins of the world. The crowd, once jeering, grew silent, their voices swallowed by the eerie stillness. Mothers clutched their children. The Roman soldiers glanced nervously at the darkened sky. Even the most hardened hearts could feel the weight of something extraordinary unfolding. At 3 p.m., after hours of unimaginable agony, Jesus cried out and breathed his last. The world seemed to hold its breath in that moment. But in the heart of Jerusalem, something miraculous shattered the silence. Inside the temple hung a massive curtain, 4 inches thick and towering 60 feet high. This veil separated the Holy of Holies, the sacred place of God's presence, from the rest of the world. It stood as a powerful symbol of the vast divide between a holy God and sinful humanity. Then, as Jesus breathed his last, that mighty veil tore from top to bottom. The sound echoed through the temple, and the priests froze in awe and terror. They knew this was no human act. Only God could tear what had stood for generations. It was a divine declaration. Through Jesus' sacrifice, the barrier was gone. The way to God's presence was no longer hidden. Anyone could come to God without needing a priest or sacrifices. Then, the ground began to shake violently. An earthquake tore through the land. A miracle that could not be ignored. Rocks split apart with deafening cracks, and people fell to the ground in terror. This was no ordinary earthquake. It was God's undeniable sign that the world had just been forever changed. Meanwhile, the earthquake caused tombs in the surrounding hills to open. Stones rolled away, and the bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. Their resurrection was a foreshadowing of the ultimate victory over death that Jesus' sacrifice would bring. Later, they would appear to many in Jerusalem, their presence a living testimony to the power of God's redemption. At the foot of the cross, a Roman centurion stood, his armor rattling as the ground quaked beneath him. He had watched countless men die. This death was different. The darkness, the trembling earth, and the unyielding dignity of the man on the cross pierced his heart. His voice cracking with emotion, he exclaimed, "Truly, he was the Son of God." This miracle symbolizes the universal impact of Jesus' death, faith breaking through even in the heart of a hardened Roman soldier. It underscores the power of Jesus' sacrifice to draw all people, regardless of background, to himself. The day Christ died was a momentous day. Jesus, the Son of God, gave his life so that whoever believes in him can have eternal life. The miracles of that day declare one thing loud and clear. God was doing something new. Jesus' death had changed everything forever, opening the way for all people to come close to God.